Hi there, Chris here. I wanted to try and pick this American. It's a 3650 and it has a Schlage core in it. I wanted to try and pick it, gut it, and reassemble it just to show how this works. These are great bodies for putting all kinds of different kicks in. So let's get to it. It works beautifully. There's spitting on the key. I have put some spools in this. Generally, these Schlage cylinders just have standard pins in them, but I put some spools in there. See if we can pick it relatively quickly, so we can get to the gutting and disassembly and reassembly. Okay, we're in a bit of a false set, a little bit deeper. Might be counter on 4. Maybe 3. No. I think I messed that up. May go for a reset. Or I could try the echo wave. Okay, I was hung up somewhere. Anyway, so that's that. So the first thing, you need a Phillips head screwdriver. And this comes out, and I take the screw out, and that's what it looks like on the inside. We'll set that aside. Now this is the little converter. So this needs to go on. Actually, I'll take this carrier off. So you can see it's just a Schlage KIK. We're gonna lock it back up. But you wanna pay attention to how this orients. In this one, you see the S is somewhat upside down. So we'll remember that. Put that aside. And to get these open, get this back off here, I just take my pick, depress that, and unscrew the whole thing. And that comes off, the little thing comes off, and there's a little screw in there you don't want to lose. So now, always good to look at this. Now this is identical, front and back, and they are not all that way. So it's always good to put a witness mark there so you maintain your front. You don't lose that and put it back together backwards. Some of them you can and get into trouble. I always use a shim, he said. Use a good shim. And then the follower. So 6 pins. Everybody needed picking. 1, 2, 3. I'll orient these. 4, 5, and 6. I use these Sparrows, generally these Sparrows tools, the tweezers, and their little pinning mats are fine. So these are all standard. And we'll put this in our little folder. This came from a set, a Huck lock tool set. You can get them on eBay. Take our shim out. So one is that I've put a spool in there. 2 is a standard. 3 is a spool. 4 is another spool. 5 is a standard. And 6, I don't remember what 6 is. It's a standard. And all the little springs come out, he said. So we'll get those in place. So that's the gutting. Now I will reassemble it. I'll show you the pins. So now to reassemble, I just keep this, I think I'll zoom in just a little bit. I'll keep this in here with the key, so to make sure I'm getting the right pins in the right place. So I usually just start at the back, and if you've dropped them out and they've gotten mixed up, you'll see that they won't be flush on the top. But you want to make sure they're all flush on the top. Because if they aren't, then the key won't work. Then I take my follower and I start from the back. And I go in 3 and a 6-pin lock. I go in 3, grab my spring, and drop it down. And then grab my pin, and then start it, and pinch it. Whoops. Pinch it with that follower. Then I relieve some of that pressure and push it down. Go to the next one. Oh, I got that in the wrong place. So let's go in 3. I'll try this again. So I grab my pin, start it going down. Yeah. Start it going down, pinch it a little bit, move the follower back, move the follower forward as you push it down. And we grab the next one, pinch it with the follower, push it down. Grab the last one, pinch it with the follower. These are bent up, so they don't work totally great, but good enough. So we have the back part of the lock, and we know it's the back because this is our front mark. Then we grab a spring, go in 3, put in your your spring, grab your pin, start it, push it, grab it, relieve and push it in. Grab another spring, and you should go slow. I've done this a couple of times, so I'm going kind of fast. But go slow, so you don't get something in the wrong place. All right, so grab it. Oops. Grab it, pinch it, push it down. Grab it, pinch it, push it down. So once I'm all the way in, I put my shim back in. And I always use a shim. And if I can't get a shim in it, I'll use a piece of wood doweling that's a little bit smaller so I can get that to go. All the way in with the shim, make sure it works. Pull it out. All right, now, first off, you grab your spring, drop it in, grab this, drop it in, and get my little, I don't use the sparrows that came with this repin kit, the little follower. I've bought a couple of those, and both of them, the followers were kind of deformed. So I just use a pick. I turn it all the way tight till it won't go anymore, and I back off like 3 notches. Then I take this, make sure it all works. Now what you want is your key coming in and out easily. If there's too much play in here, it'll kind of trap your key. Next thing I do, I remember that our S is kind of upside down, and it fits right in there like that. Now we want to put on the little follower, or the carrier with the spring there. Now this can be a little tricky. To get this to go, but I want to line it up and gently shove it in there. Now, what you want to do is make sure that the lock works. Make sure without the screw in it. So we lock it. I even do it twice sometimes. Do not leave the screw in there. Sometimes it can get, you can lock it down, it can get stuck, and you've bricked your lock. That has happened to me. So then we put our screw in there and make sure you're hitting the threads right. All right. Try it again, and we're all good to go. So that's a real quick showing of how to do that. Always use the shim, always get that screw out of there, test it. Before you put the screw in there, make sure the lock is functioning. Make sure that little adapter is in correctly, because you can run into problems. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope that's helpful to someone. Certainly ask a question, leave a comment. We will see you next time.